Welcome to the Parenting Roundabout podcast for the week of November 30th, 2020. Every week, we chat about the things parents are talking about, complaining about, and obsessing about right now. I'm Terry Morrow, and I'm here with Catherine Holeko.
Hello.
And Nicole Eridix.
Hi there.
This week, we are complaining about a Pollyanna approach to pandemic firsts and obsessing about being alone. We're also taking a couple of breaks for an entertainment discussion and a recommendation roundup. Today, we're talking about kids and tech. And if you are afraid this is another one of those screeds about how if you don't take the screens away from your child right now, they're just going to never come to any good in life and everything will be awful and they'll become addicted and their lives will be miserable. Good news. A new study has said that parent restrictions on tech use have little lasting effect, and we are psyched. Yes!
Love to find out we're ineffectual. Love it.
Yes, absolutely. That we do not have to be pains in the rear about the screens. Excellent. So this was a very small study, and if it had come out the other way, we probably would have said, oh, it's a very small study. It means nothing. But since it agrees with us, yes, absolutely. Science, ladies and gentlemen, science says you can let your kid watch TV. Who cares? Go do it. Let them be on the computer. Who cares? When they get older, they make, who would have thought when they get older, they make decisions for themselves about what they want to do with tech. And it really has very little to do with whether you let them watch things all the time or whether you took their devices away after an hour and made them go out and play. So I'm thinking about my own kids who are now young adults, and they each have very particular ways of using screens and tech that have really nothing to do with anything that I did or any model that I set for them, because the model that I set for them is I am in front of a computer about 23 hours a day. Right. So if I didn't even do as I say, not as I do thing, I just let them do whatever they wanted. And now, my daughter pulled out of social media because she just didn't feel good to her. And she does watch a lot of TV and videos of questionable quality. But, she also does a lot of other stuff. So I don't think she has any problem with it. My son will play with his phone, but that's it. He doesn't watch TV. He doesn't go on computers. He just, I think, shops for keys with his phone and then also posts on Facebook what we're having for dinner and when he went for a walk and when he did the weights. And that's pretty much it. So it does seem to me that, adults are going to do what they're going to do. And probably the stress of making it a big deal is worse in the long term than just letting them do it.
Right.
Does that seem true to your guys' experience?
Yeah. I mean, like you said, the sort of constant nagging and having to, making it a problem seems like it could have worse effects than them actually consuming technology. I don't know. I mean, my younger one is 15, so we don't yet know how he's going to turn out. And my older one is 18, again, like not exactly an adult, but, seems to have a reasonable handle on technology use.
Yeah.
Is able to do all of her studying and other commitments without being constantly glued to a screen. So, and of course, studying and other commitments usually involve a screen at this point.
Right.
So that's another thing. Like, the American Academy of Pediatrics could say, they don't anymore, but they used to say 2 hours a day or an hour a day or whatever. But, if kids are in Zoom school, it's 6-7 hours right there.
That's right.
And then I find that they don't want to be on it.
Right.
Right.
Like, they turn it off. And, both my kids have kind of probably one's on it more than the other. But then I also see them monitoring themselves. Like, I know my son will, if he finds like he's spending too much time on an app, he'll delete it. So he doesn't, he'll self-regulate, I guess. Is the term. So, which has no impact, or that's not any result of what I did to him. I never made him delete apps or anything. And then my daughter, she'll do that too. She'll find other ways of spending her time naturally, right? Because they've had too much screen time.
Yeah.
So they've just like, I'm done. They turn it off. They don't want to be around it.
Yeah. I wonder if all this online schooling now is going to make screens and tech less cool to kids. If it's what they're doing all day to do homework and do classwork and all that stuff, and then they're going to want to get away from it. Or are they just going to want to play video games all night?
Yeah, so far we're more in the latter camp over here. But we're hopeful that, it's clear that my kid definitely does better in-person school.
Yeah.
And even, things like his choir, his elective, like not his school class choir, but his supposedly for fun choir is mostly online too. And he just like doesn't go, he's like,
right.
Just, it's not working for him.
So they may start to value in-person communication more than they would have otherwise.
Yeah, I think so. I know mine are just really craving some socialization, and not like restricted socialization, where you have to sit across the room from somebody.
Right.
They just want to be able to hang out like they used to. But then it's funny because, they were both commenting that they were watching something on TV the other day, and this is totally going off on another tangent. I just realized. But they were just watching some people on TV the other day who were sitting too close to each other. They said they felt very uncomfortable. But so all this screen time, kind of changes your perspective on what you value and how you value it. And it's interesting.
It's funny how we used to complain how our kids are just always communicating with each other on their devices. They're never, they call each other, they text each other. Why don't you go over there and see them and talk to them in person to person? And now we're like, don't go over there and see them and talk to them person to person. Do a Zoom chat. How about texting?
Do this on Zoom. What are you thinking? Yeah. And of course, all this research happened prior to the pandemic. So
I'm sure there will be
another whole school of study, area of study to happen from this, for sure.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't know. And I think life just naturally has a way of weaning you off of it, unless I could see the rare, not the rare, but I could see perhaps in some cases it wouldn't. But I think in most cases, like, life just naturally pulls you away from all that time because you've got either work or school, homework, family responsibilities.
Right.
As you get older, right? As you start to adult, you can't spend as much time on your phone as you want.
Right. And it kind of resets your priorities.
Yeah. So I wonder how much of that is taken into account, right? That their lives and their responsibilities have increased. Like their world is changing as they get older. So, of course, tech will take a different priority or a different place.
And then, like,
in their world.
For us oldsters who didn't have it when we were young, it's like we start using it maybe too much. I say as I chat with my friends here while playing a game on my phone. But, possibly, like, seeing your mother use tech devices and screens all the time makes it uncool. So, see, I'm sacrificing myself for my children. Go, all Mom ever does is play with the computer. I don't want to do that.
Right. Actually, we were just talking the other day about kids who follow in their parents' footsteps in terms of careers and stuff. And between my two kids and then my niece, and we were all saying, all the parents were saying, we told them not to do what we did. And they were like, we're not interested in any of those things. But my daughter said she feels like she does know a lot of people where they're doing what their parents did in terms of careers. So,
Really?
Yeah. I mean, one of them is her boyfriend who she sees all the time, so maybe that's skewing her her perceptions a little bit.
Interesting.
Yes. Well, as with so much, it just depends, and we just kind of have to wait and see what the results are going to be from our parenting and everything else. But we're glad that you use technology to listen to podcasts.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And that is it for today's round 1. Tune in tomorrow for our entertainment-themed round 2, and later in the week to find out what we're complaining about, obsessing about, and recommending right now. We're always interested in what you have to say, so drop us a comment on our website, our Facebook page, or Twitter, where you'll find us at Roundabout Chat.